Did you record it?
A little bit of it, yeah, but
Oh, we'll start again. Yeah.
yeah. All right, so this is Outlaw Window Cleaner episode 22, and I'm here.
Wow.
I'm here with the. If you guys don't know, the man behind Reach It, the guy, the man, Perry Tait. I know you guys probably don't recognize him. All clean shaven and baby faced.
Wolverine. The
Yeah,
barber's dead and Wolverine is gone.
right, right. So I'm assuming that you're pretty busy right now because you've been kind of just dropping hints on the internet and not really engaging too much. You kind of been so when you're doing that, that means something is either in the works or you're really pushing to get something to come out. Who knows? You know what I mean
Yeah,
with you. That's usually the case. So
that's the way we do it. We
right.
prime. We think there's something going down, then we tend to foreshadow it, like give some sort of insight into what's.
And I lost you. What is going on with the internet connections? The internet connection
Hang
is
on, maybe.
crazy. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't think it is.
No, no, it's my mail program. Hang on,
Oh, you're fine.
I'll turn off all my apps that are using it.
Yeah, I force quit out of everything when I get on here because for some reason it does it
Yeah.
to me too. It's like it's trying to do too much.
Yeah,
And
there's only so much bandwidth.
yeah, there's only so much
Okay,
bandwidth. There's only
that's
so
yeah.
much. There's the cable on is only so thick. I tell you what, I was singing your praises last. I think it was Tuesday. I had this 3-story construction clean, hasn't been touched, and not a construction. It might as well have been a construction clean.
Right.
This 3-story building. Um, the windows haven't been touched in 5 years, and they were, after they were put in,
Oh,
they just peeled the stickers off and threw the screens in. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I couldn't get any lift access because they wouldn't give me a friggin' permit to put the lift in the street for whatever reason, and I
Uh-huh.
couldn't get nothing small enough to sit on the sidewalk because there was a patio on the sidewalk, so there's a very limited
Right.
space. So bronze brush to the rescue.
Bronze brush to the
Yeah,
rescue.
yeah, yeah.
And
Bronze.
did it have? Did you have aluminum screens so you had screen burn or no?
No, there was no screen burn. These were fiberglass screens, but it's an old
Okay.
brick and limestone building, so there was a mineral deposit and dirt and spider shit, but I mean it's a block from the lake, so it's terrible. So it was the
Oh,
first time it turned out good. You know what I mean? It turned out good. We had to run over the windows a couple of times. You know what I mean?
yep.
But
Yep.
sometimes you just have to. You know what I mean? They
Yep.
were so beat. They were just beat.
Look at those constructor brushes in the back wall. I just noticed them above
Oh
your
yeah,
head,
yeah, yeah.
buddy.
Those are always there.
They
One of
look
those,
sweet.
one of those is going to Brett Pisano because I
Huh?
ordered. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna give him one. When I ordered them, I ordered like one too many, and I have 5 constructor brushes. You know what I mean? So it's like, and
People do
I have
that.
a shitload of uh, bristles and replacement
Nice.
pads and all the end caps, and
Yeah.
I'm like, help a feller out, that's trying to get into
Yeah.
waterfed bowl. Why not give him a badass brush to start out with? You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. I mean,
That's a
that's
cool
where the
thing to do.
efficiency comes from.
Yeah, and then somebody will get
Yep.
some use out of it. And I think you had a 2 for 3 or something. You got 3 for the price of 2 or something. There was a sale right before
Yeah.
the first of the year last year. I picked up
Yeah.
2
Yeah. Yeah.
brushes
Yeah.
and got a third one or something like that. I don't know. It was pretty
Nice.
cool. So I was like, I'm not really out anything. I got 2 bronze brushes and a regular Swift brush. So I'm
Nice.
gonna hook him up with the Swift brush. Plus,
Nice.
um, I want to get a wider brush. I want bigger's better. So I want to go
Yeah.
for a
Bigger is
16.
better.
I want to try a
Yep.
16 out and see what that. I mean, that's 4 extra inches of cleaning I got going on. Um,
Yep.
my only concern is I know I showed you a picture of this, and it's no fault of the Rhino hose itself, but I was like, I'm having flow issues because I was like, well, maybe this is what I was wanting to do, and I didn't do it. But what I
Yep.
wanted to do was I wanted to take the Rhino hose, which is a larger diameter than what I have
Yep.
in the Rhino tube, And what I want to do is run the Rhino hose to a Y and then tee it off or Y it off into two separate.
Correct.
Well, my hydro cart has a pressure valve on it, and I apparently had it turned up for 400 foot. Yeah, 200 or 400 foot of Rhino tube, and it turned that Rhino hose into a hot, a balloon animal. Duh. And the guy that was working with me, he's like, well, I could have told you that was going to happen. And I was like, well, why didn't you tell me that was going to happen?
Yeah. That's right.
He's like, well, you probably should have turned the pressure down. And I sent you a picture, and you're like, yeah, man, that's, you can't do that. It's not rated for 200 pounds, 200 PSI, dude.
What we've got Rhino flat hose, which is a 1/2 inch OD, right? And in metric, it's a 8.5 millimeter ID. Okay. And then now we've got Rhino high flow, which is like 6.7 millimeters ID, and then Rhino tube, which is 5 millimeters ID. Now that doesn't mean shit to Americans, but basically we're stepping down the internal diameter of the tube so that you can maintain the pressure and reduce the pressure loss. But if you're correct that we've done all the calculations. If you run Rhino tube to a 16-inch brush with a push fit at the end instead of the barb that we've got. So we're putting some kits together for that. Then you'll get the maximum flow possible actually out of a 16-inch. Okay. And then we've got Rhino high flow. If somebody goes to 20-inch or 24-inch, then they'll actually connect Rhino high flow directly to the brush. So it'll be a bigger water supply up the pole. It'll be a little bit heavier, but hey, if you can get a 20-inch brush on glass. Right. Let me tell you the maths on that 16-inch brush.
Go ahead.
If you've got a 30-inch wide piece of glass and you do it with a 12-inch, then you do 12, let's say you overlap 2, right? 12, overlap 2, 12, overlap 2. So you've got 3 strokes from left to right in order to clean that glass.
Yes.
If you use a 16-inch, you go 16 inches follow the left frame, 16 inches follow the right frame, and you've got a 2-inch overlap in the middle.
Right.
So you can go basically, it'll take 50% longer to use a 12-inch than a 16-inch.
Yes. Yeah.
On a 30-inch piece of glass.
Right.
So sizing the brush so that it's just over half the width of the brush means that you can teach somebody to do the left frame, do the right frame, overlap in the middle. You've got the hydro blades in the end caps.
Right.
So you're rinsing edge to edge.
Right.
And then basically you can have a 50% sort of efficiency just by changing out to a bigger brush.
Well,
and then teaching guys, they've got to stick to it,
I've seen, speaking of flow and stuff like that, water flow, I've seen that you're, I don't know if you're sold on it yet or if it's really something that you're really trying to achieve. I know you've spoken about it, but a blade on the top and the bottom.
Yes.
I mean, so that's, yes. I'm assuming that's why you're so interested in the fluid dynamics and how, to maintain pressure, because, not everyone in my case runs a pure water system with a motor on a pump on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people just use regular old from the tap kind of water pressure. So I could see where that's all coming. I mean, this is all part of what happened with.
Yeah, this is what happened with pressure washing. I mean, you can go down to Lowe's and buy a pressure washer, or you can go and get a professional pressure washer. Yeah,
correct, right.
And so everybody's going to evolve from being a bucket bob and doing storefronts to getting squeegee and ladder, and then they'll go to water fed, and then they'll ultimately end up with professional water fed, and we know that on those jobs, like what you just talked about, where they're super dirty, if you've got water under the brush, you can actually pull more dirt off the glass with more water under the brush and leave the top of the brush to leave the pure water on. So we've got brass tees being made right now. We've signed off on the prototypes. And so we'll actually have a tee at the top and a tee at the bottom kind of thing. So we're able to feed the top and the bottom of the brush. And then the next thing we're doing is Jet Select, which is giving us a bit of grief at the moment, but we're working on it. But Jet Select will be a silicon cover that'll go over the top of the jets, and they've got little plugs that you can put in. So you can have every jet open, or you can have every second jet open, or every third jet open. Okay. So you can actually balance the brush, but it'll be really easy. Just clip them on. So you'll make them all up. This is every hole open. This is every second hole open. Every third hole open. And then you'll just be able to go, oh shit, I haven't got enough flow. I'll change the amount of water that I've got coming out.
That's cool as shit. Yeah. That's cool as shit.
Yeah. But the guys who migrate towards pumps, and we're bringing out some pumps as well. We're just rebranding some pumps that are in the market. But basically, the future of water-fed window cleaning will be, much closer. It won't be the same cost as a pressure washer's rig, but it'll be much closer in the dynamics of it. Like people will understand, hose tube sizes, number of jets open, amount of pressure and flow available. All of that has to come in to give a guy $200 an hour, $300 an hour, the same as pressure washers, soft washers, and roof washers.
Exactly.
And carpet cleaners. Like we're the lowest paid service industry because why? Because people have been treated dumb. They've been treated cheap.
Right.
So I'm just going down the other route. That's how we started the company. We're never going to stop. We just want to develop the proper professional gear that delivers the highest hourly rate, and we're focused on the hourly rate of the window cleaner because our customer is a window cleaner, not a reseller.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
so
as far as water-fed, everybody. I call myself T Squeegee. So I love traditional window cleaning. I'm a ladder guy. I'm a ladder and squeegee guy. But as you can see behind me, I own, because this was a conversation that came up on Father's Day about water-fed pole and traditional work, and I think maybe what I said may have just rubbed a couple of people the wrong way, and I didn't mean anything by it. It was just more or less just the sentiment that was being brought across, and this is for something I posted a year ago, and I don't want to get it twisted. I use my water-fed pole almost every day, almost if not every day, every other day, and and that's not a secret. I've owned a Reach It Mini we've had our hydro cart since 2004 or 5. So, it's not like we just started water-fed window cleaning, yesterday. But I'll say this, we didn't really start doing it efficiently until we bought a Reach It. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm not a
anybody who owns a Reach It will say it's true. And everybody who doesn't own a Reach It will go, it's the same as everybody else's. Right. But, I always say, the guys who have never worn Ray-Bans or Oakleys, and they go to the center aisle in the shopping center, right? And in the mall, and then they buy an Oakley or a Ray-Ban lookalike, and they go, "Oh, look at me! Like I'd never pay $300 for a pair of sunglasses because I can get these for $20." Right? And you go, "Yeah, like guess what, sucker? You don't even know what it's like to wear a Ray-Ban or an Oakley.
I tell you what, I had
technology in that glass.
I tell you what, this came up too. I got scorched because of my $20 sunglasses. Every time I've got a couple of my profile pics. I always like to keep my Ray Charles Ray-Bans on, but I don't wear them anymore except for when I'm going somewhere. Because if I go to work with my Ray-Bans on, I've lost 3 pairs of. I had 1 pair of Oakleys and 2 pair of Ray-Bans. I don't know how I do it, but I do it every time. Like we'll go to lunch somewhere while we're working, and my head's somewhere else. I'm on the job still while I'm eating lunch, and I walk out leaving there, or in the restroom, or at the counter in the gas station. That shit's done. They're done. I'll never see those again. So I was like, I'm buying $20 work sunglasses, and I tell you what, the first pair, I bought 2 or 3 pairs. I popped the first pair out of the package, put them on, and I ain't lost them since. I swear it's monetary value. Like the universe is trying to tell me something. So whatever, man.
Whatever.
So what's new, Perry? What's new? You've been a recluse the last couple weeks. What's going on?
Yeah, we've got a lot going on. We've got an arbitration lawsuit going on with this dude who set himself up to scam us. He became our CEO and then hired himself without a contract, and then took us to court. We took it to arbitration. Now we're taking him to court to appeal. But he took us to arbitration on the basis, because in China it's illegal to hire somebody without a contract, and the penalty is 100% of the salary that you've paid them. So he worked for me for 9 months. We knew it was coming. We knew he was setting us up, so we're trying to get him out of the company. But anyway, he was with us for 9 months, and then sure enough, he turns up at arbitration claiming 100% of his salary again, right? Oh. So they awarded him, it's true, we employed him without a contract, but he was responsible for the contract. So they awarded him a third, and then so we're going to court because we're going to set it. We're going to say he set it up. I mean, he had no intentions. He was responsible. He never asked us for a contract. He was responsible
wow, really?
for the contract.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
dirty, man.
So anyway, so it'll be fun. I just want Harrison to experience what court's like, because until you've been to court, you gotta.
Well, if he wants to know if he wants to know what court's like, just have him give me a call. I'll tell him what court's like.
Yeah,
I've been there before.
I've been a lot of court. Yeah.
I've been to a lot of court myself.
Yeah. So I want him to get that out of the way. You got to get the first one out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good experience too, good learning experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we could pay this guy out now, and walk away.
Uh-oh. Connection lost. There was a problem with the internet connection.
We've got.
You're there. There, you're back. You're back now.
I'm back.
Shit happens.
Yeah, shit happens.
And I'll have to do some editing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we've got a whole lot of new products. We've got Flow 2. All the parts are coming in for that now.
Ooh, I'm waiting for that. I was getting ready to pull the trigger because I was like, I'm going to keep my hydrocart for large jobs, but I'd like something like the Flow that I can roll up.
Yeah.
Only use maybe 100 foot of hose on, and bing, bang, boom. You know what I mean? Real easy, compact. And that thing. The original Flow is kind of. Titties and beer.
It's got glowing reports.
Yeah, it's
and
that's what I've heard. I've kind of been holding off to try something because I was thinking about buying the little Unger canister thing and stuff like that. And I was just maybe I'll wait a little bit longer and put a little more money into it than that. You know what I mean? Because it could end up replacing my hydrocart one day. You never know. You know what I mean?
Well, especially you guys are in areas where the groundwater gets really cold in spring and fall.
Mm-hmm.
That's really where Flow 2 comes. Flow 2 addresses cold water. Because the viscosity of water gets thicker, the colder the water is.
Correct.
So water through a reverse osmosis membrane at 75 degrees, which is the laboratory rating. So if you see it 2,400 gallons per day or 2,600 gallons per day or whatever, that's at 75. That's at 75 degrees. If that water is going through at 34 degrees or 39 degrees, it's half, 1,200, 1,100, 1,300. So there's a serious impact of cold water. So one of the things we're looking at doing is putting an inline preheater, booster pumps which offset the viscosity, delivery pumps.
And on top of, not to cut you off, but on top of all of that, you don't have, it's not proprietary filtration either. You can pretty much pick your filtration up anywhere, right? That's my biggest thing with my hydrocart. Is I have to search, and what I ended up doing is I ended up sourcing the filtration for my hydrocart from the source that they're getting it from, and I'm getting it for half what they're charging me for it.
Yeah,
yeah.
And
I can buy two filters for the price I was paying for one before.
Yeah. we're getting a filter designed. Like nobody's actually designed a filter. Like reverse osmosis membranes are used in mining, basically to make potable water, right? Drinkable water.
Yes.
So all your Coca-Cola water, it's all reverse osmosis water. All your seawater, like desalination plants, that's all reverse osmosis. So the reverse osmosis industry is way bigger. There's nothing made particularly for window cleaners. But we've got a factory now that we're getting it re-engineered, where we're saying, look, we don't care about 99% rejection rate. We're happy with 95, 93% rejection rate if you can give us more permeate, more pure water. So that's what we want. We want more water through it. And we sacrifice a little bit. Doesn't matter. We've got a DI tank on the other side. Take out, 10, 15, 20. It's a big deal, right? So that's what we're doing. That's in progress right now. So we're chasing that down. We're attacking the DI resin. Again, DI resins, mixed bed resins, are a generic product that's available in the marketplace. Nobody's ever made a DI solution for window cleaning. Everybody's just buying what's off the shelf and putting their name on the bag.
Adapting it to our needs, in a sense, yes.
We're talking to DI resin manufacturers and talking about, what minerals we're trying to take out and what ratios and all that sort of stuff. So we're doing some groundwork on that. And so we're just trying to get back, try and treat window cleaning as if it was pressure washing and going, hey, there's a lot to know. Okay, it's going to take time for people to know, but once I educate you, you get the chance to educate other people. So
Right.
we just got to sow the seeds and put the education into the community, and ultimately it's going to come back at us because we're the ones who have got the products that solve the problems. But you need to know that you need to know stuff in order to understand that it is solving a problem, that you will have a problem, and that there are problems in our business.
Well, I tell you
Those
what,
problems reduce your hourly rate. That's why we're not interested in doing it so that like Ionix sells a PPB, 0 parts per billion. That's just placebo bullshit. If you can clean windows with 10 parts per million, what's the point of 0 parts per billion? And you can't even measure. There's not even a TDS meter that measures parts per billion. So 0 parts per million, 0 parts per billion. What's the difference? It's just all marketing hype.
You're gonna get what are the tolerances for spotless window cleaning, anyways?
Well,
when
we
your
clean
TDS, what's your TDS? I mean, what's the requirement, right? There's a base for that spotless wash, right?
No, it's localized because in Sydney we had TDS 100 as our tap water, and we did our commercial tinted glass we did with tap water. We never even put a filter on it.
Right.
TDS 100. Our residential we did with TDS 50, and I used to make DI systems with variable TDS out preset at 50 because 50 was spot free. So instead of using 100% of your DI resin, you could double the life of your DI resin by using half of it and achieving the same result.
Okay.
So we're educating all of that too.
Yes,
it's
I
local.
like to lead. I like to ask leading questions, sir. So, we seen it at the IWCA. You guys were showing all of. So when are the new polls coming out? I mean, I'd like to know what's going on. When are we going to see some of those?
Tactical. So tactical. I saw I got sent a photo of the tactical. So I think tactical may be in this week. Tactical is basically the same profile as a mini, but with an upgraded. The top 4 sections are high modulus, and what that means is if you wanted to take a mini to 4 or 5 stories, then a tactical will do that better. If you're only going 2 and 3 stories, they won't do any different. Like rigid is rigid.
Right.
But the higher you go, the more gravity's going to pull on the pole. So basically, tactical is going to be the real ground to 5-story solution that we'll have. Warrior is replacing the Pro. The Pro is being discontinued. So Warrior is going to be a 5'6" compact commercial pole, and it'll go out to 60, 65 feet. And or even a little, it can go a bit higher.
Is that with or without plus sections? That's with.
No, that's with plus sections. Okay. Yeah, it'll be a 35 foot actual length, because you got to watch this. In our industry, there's a lot of guys who add the operator height and tell you, like I think Edaray's pole is an Edaray 30, but it's 24 feet long. So they go, you can clean from up here.
Right,
yes,
okay.
You clean above the shoulders.
Right. Just cleaning above your shoulders. I mean, I do it occasionally just because I'm a dumbass, but it's not good for you, man. It's not good for you. That'll wear your ass out quick. That's what I'm.
Junkie, you're gonna build.
I've done that a bunch of times. I used to do that. Listen to this. I used to do the one hand like this with a 42-foot long fiberglass pole. I used to do that.
To do it too.
What?
That's how I know.
Dude, I tell you what, my shoulders are junk now.
But I used to look at me like I look like an accountant now, like little saggy boob, no chest hair. Like I used to look like Wolverine. Right? I had big arms and big, like this chest was out here like this,
Right.
So I'm back on it. I've lost 20 pounds. I'm gonna go and start pumping some iron now and see if
I'm down. I'm actually down. I'm down almost 20 myself. I mean, it doesn't really show, but I honestly, I'm down 2. I've got to buy new pants now. All my pants are falling off me, so that's good.
I noticed your cheeks are a little bit lower.
Yeah. I tell you what. When we were just talking about the plus sections, I wanted to say this in public so people can hear it. I should have listened to you when I went to go buy them, and I didn't. I bought I was a cheap bastard because, and Larry, when Larry hears this, Larry Crook is going to bust my chops when he hears this, but I took the cheap route. and bought the A and the C and not the B, and I should have brought the A. I should have
Should have
bought the
been.
A and the B. I fucked up
Yeah.
so bad.
No, what we've done now, I think we've made them all the same price so that nobody can make that $50 saving. And
Yeah,
we're discontinuing the C, by the way. The C's finished.
I don't.
Because, like I said to Harrison, we make a commitment that we're going to sell the best gear for professional window cleaners, and C has got its place, but it's not the best solution. We're bringing out another product called Shock Stop, right? It's going to be a Kevlar handle with the number 8 section, so it's kind of like half a C, but made of Kevlar. Kevlar doesn't conduct electricity, so you'll be able to use the Shock Stop as a way of, insulating an operator if you're ever concerned about where you are. Then you can use the Shock Stop with any of the sections.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're going to use Shock Stop with Connect AB, and so you'll be able to, even if you've got like section 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you want to, use the handle, then you can connect with the
so
Connect
okay,
PC.
Okay. So it's not only feasible at the bottom of a long length of pole. You can also use it in
could
shorter
actually use it
instances.
with one section.
Okay, cool, man. That's kick ass, man. I have a Plus C. It's nice, but with the Plus A on it and then the C on the bottom and everything's extended. The middle of that pole is not. There's too much weight. Yeah. It's just too much weight.
It adds weight to the bottom of the pole, and
yes,
because you're at a different angle here. So the greater the angle, the more gravity grabs it, the more it wants to flex in the pole. So that's why we put Plus A up near the top to take that flex out there, and we put Plus B in the middle to take the flex out there. Keep the bottom of the pole as light as possible.
I need that in my life.
And that's why we make Shock Stop. I mean, you'll see another company's brought out an insulator, but it's made from fiberglass. And Ederay went the other way and gave you a conductor as a handle. They gave you an aluminum handle. That's really clever. To save money, because aluminum's like a fraction of the price even of fiberglass, let alone carbon fiber.
Oh, yeah.
So they drop the price by giving you a conductive handle. So we've made it out of Kevlar, and then we think that'll overcome. I mean, all we're trying to do is just make faster, better, safer. Okay, how do we do that? Faster, better, safer. Like, everything's got to be geared around that. So the Plus C, I don't believe, fits faster, better, safer. By the way, we're the ones who invented the Plus C or the XT.
Right.
Like, we're the first company in the world to create a 2-part reverse telescopic extension section. Back in 2011.
Yeah, I mean, here soon I'm gonna have to buy me a 16-inch brush and the Plus B section and just get on with life. You know what I mean?
And the Plus C, the only thing that's great about the Plus C is that it's interchangeable between Reach It Pro and Reach It Mini. So somebody wants to, it's like a 40-foot ladder. You want to assign it to a guy because he's got to reach that a little bit extra. You can assign it to any of our poles.
Right.
The same as Shock Stop. Shock Stop is a shock stopper for all of the poles. One product will fit all. So
I think
you don't need to use it every day.
For me, anyways, I have 2 minis, and I would think after I buy the B, I'll be able to stretch out real nice with one pole, and then if another guy could go right behind me, because I've been running 2 poles on one hydrocart for a hot minute now, and I've just been doing it with all Rhino tube, and I got one guy over here and me over there. You know what I mean? We're doing 2 different sections working to each other. You know what I mean? And just trying to smash things as quickly as possible because of these jobs I'm getting are huge jobs. So, for a 2-man crew.
Once you get a Plus B, you'll have a Plus ABC, and you can connect ABB or ABC. You can connect them and make another 25-foot pole.
That's cool.
So
man.
You'll get great mileage out of the Plus B.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure, no question. I screwed up. I dicked up with that. Whatever. You live and you learn. Again, to tip my hat to Larry. I am cheap. Yeah. I am cheap, and it is in my blood, Larry. You are correct. we share. We're both Scottish, so we kind of share.
Me too.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my bloodline is Scottish.
Okay, all right. That's awesome. Yeah, so we're kind of tight with our money a little bit. We're kind of frugal here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, how's the Gunslinger going? I know that's got to be just just a shit storm. I know
Yeah.
everyone's buying them. You know, everyone's
We're
buying
pumping
them.
out.
Everyone,
We're
you
pumping out about.
gotta have your hands full with that. I'm sure.
We're pumping out like 20 a day on average,
Uh,
and we've got a backlog still.
yeah.
So we've still got the original pre-order pricing until we catch up with the backlog. We've ordered enough material to make 600 or 700 ourselves. We've ordered a whole new set of machinery so that we can double up the workforce. So basically, once we get out of this pre-order phase and we actually catch up with all the orders and we start making our own ones, then we'll have 15 different ones that'll be standard and they'll stay at $99. They won't be custom. And then the custom ones, like what you guys all got, they'll all go up in price, because they'll be the handled one-offs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the logos, the people who chose logos, we're running with those logos, and then we've turned logos off for now until we find out how well those logos go, because the logos has been a bit of a nightmare for me.
Right.
Like trying to get a logo that
I know I spoke to you about that, and I tried. The guy that does my T-shirts. I actually, I'll say it here now. I've actually got my own little idea for some shirts and some hats and stuff, and
nice.
me and Tim and Josh are gonna kind of do something else, and that's kind of holding us back from doing that because his wife got into a car accident, and she is the brains behind, not so much the brains behind the operation, but she knows. She's when you weed out vinyl and stuff like that, the heat transfers, weeding all that stuff out is a nightmare. And if you don't know what you're doing, and he's like, he goes, I'm kind of good, but I'm not as good as she is. You know what I mean? So it slowed him up a bit. So even my work shirts, I ordered, I think 50 T-shirts and 50 sweatshirts, and I've been waiting just for my company shirts. I've been waiting. So yeah, he's like, dude, I wish I could help you. He goes, but I cannot keep it. And he's trying to run himself a business too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, I can't keep up. I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, don't worry about it, bro. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I'm actually doing two different things. I'm gonna do the heat transfer T-shirts, but I'm also gonna embroider. I'm gonna have the hats embroidered. So
Right.
I totally know what you're saying. That is a fucking process. You know what I mean? And
we're gonna buy. I think we'll buy the embroidery machine so we can just do them in house one at a time, and we'll just charge what they cost.
Yeah.
So
well, see, if you don't like with the heat transfers, you don't know how they're gonna react to being
water, detergent, isopropyl alcohol.
Yes, you don't know how they're going to react.
Rubbing on the furniture, blah, blah,
right.
blah.
And the same way with embroidery, you're just going to have to try it out to see what's going to work and what's not going to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, this is all new here. You know what I mean? Some people can't grasp that idea that,
And we've still got some, like Richie and I talking every day to solve. We get about a 1 in 20 something's going wrong with Gunslinger. Like not seriously wrong, just something's going wrong, and there's a couple of them that never happened to Richie before, doesn't happen to every gunslinger, so it's an intermittent issue. We don't know if it's the way guys are using the gunslinger is different to other guys, or left-handed versus right-handed. Maybe the design is slightly different. Well, anyway, so Richie's racking his brains, working his way every day, trying to find a solution to stuff that we don't even know what's causing it.
I can tell you right now,
there's a couple of things
we got to be busy because I haven't heard from him in like 4 or 5 days. He's been real quiet, and when Richie's not checking on you. Yeah, if Richie's not checking on you and talking to you, his gears are turning. He's doing something.
Yeah, he is seriously deep in it.
He's passionate, man.
Ideas.
And I think that's something that's got to come across here to people is that he is super passionate about the Gunslinger and that project. That's his name on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he wants it
and
to be the best it can be. Oh yeah, dude, you guys. Yeah. They're awesome. They're kick ass. They're awesome. When I got mine out of the box, I couldn't believe it. I was like, well, shit. You know, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's so exciting that Jeff Class from ABC Window Cleaning ordered one from us.
Right. Wow.
I wrote to him and said, like, are you serious? You want the two products that you don't carry? He's bought some Rhino hose as well, or Rhino tube or whatever. I said, are you serious? Like, you got the biggest window cleaning supply company in America. Like, what are you buying shit off me for? You know?
Right.
But anyway, he said, I'm going up for my crew. I mean, he has got a window cleaning business, so I thought, fair enough. You know,
Jeff is a trip, man. He's a good dude, though. He's a pretty good dude and knowledgeable. So he's been around for a hot minute. That guy there.
I was going to refund it. I was going to refund it for a second, and I wrote to him, and he said, no, like seriously, you know, we've got a window cleaning company, so we should give it a go.
Right. Yeah, he's a.
Hopefully they don't try and copy because you know I don't want to end up in court cases. But Richie's got patent pending on all his designs, you know. So you know, my job is to defend the patents, you know.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
yeah, that dude. I tell you what, Richie, that guy right there, he's a mile a minute. That fella. He doesn't seem it. He's cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Yeah.
But his gears are always turning, man. Always turning, man.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited.
People are starting to appreciate it now.
Yeah.
Right? When they actually look at the gunslinger. One of the things that which we're talking about a lot, and I know we talked about it last time we were live, was that. That one of the biggest things that Gunslinger solves is the wearing of the middle of the squeegee blade.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because most people only look, where's the squeegee? Most people, will replace a squeegee because that corner burrs.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Right.
It burrs.
Yeah. Well, you're
right.
right. But that's where the most wear's coming right there.
The BOAB is actually taking the edge off the center, and that's why guys don't cut these rubbers down so much because they've actually worn out the middle of it on the bob.
I can tell you this.
Yeah?
I can tell you this right now, and I'm not just saying this just to say it. Not because I'm a paid representative, like a couple of momos like to say. I honestly have not had a defect in the middle of my rubber since I started using the Gunslinger, and I would have a defect in the middle of my rubber every 5 or 6 days. I would get a defect in the middle of my rubber from my plastic. It was always where you could see when I stuck it in the bucket. It's in the same fucking spot every time.
Just sliding the edge down on some plastic, and most guys don't change their bobs, so
that burrs there every time.
It sharpens up over time. You look at some of them, there are grooves in there, which is the rubber. That's the rubber did that. You know?
I've had my blue IPC Pull-X bucket for 2 years now, and my rubber gets the same nick in the same spot every fucking time. Every time, it never fails. I haven't had that issue with the Gunslinger. I can say that categorically. It's just not happened since I started. You can't
because it's fabric.
It's fabric. It's not doing. It's not doing nothing. You know what I mean? It's just not.
So then it's not what does the Gunslinger cost? It's what does your plastic bob cost you in rubber?
I know that's a lot, and I've noticed it's kind of more. There's a few here in the States that say it, but it's mostly guys in the UK. They really, the price. They're all about the, and I'm not, and that's not to say that they're cheap or anything, but their pay scale for window cleaning is way different than ours is here in the States.
Way lower.
It's completely different. And I think
they get like $3
that causes a lot of conflict between UK and US window cleaners. They're like, you charge too fucking much and da 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 da. No, it's completely different from here. And just watching Lee Burbridge's UK versus US, you could see right there the differences in our mentalities. We both do good work, but we just do things differently. Like some guys over there, they won't scrape paint off a window. You know what I mean? But to us over here, if we don't scrape paint off the windows, we're assholes. You know what I mean? People are pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, man, why didn't you take that spot off there? That's what I paid you for. You know what I mean? So things are a lot different. So, but you got to not look at it like, man, that's $100. You got to look at more like, this is going to save me $100 this year. Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly.
You look at all the guys who have given their reviews saying that with muscle memory, which most people don't talk about, but muscle memory is that guys are throwing their tools in and out of their bob from muscle memory because the slots are just that little bit bigger, and so their brains are able to do all the work behind the scenes, and they're no longer locating, and that's just split seconds. But those split seconds are happening all day long, right?
I'm not, like I said, this is gonna, again, I don't care what anybody says, but honestly, it's made me not a lot faster. It's made me a little faster. It has. It just has. I'm not making extra. I'm making less trips to the truck to re-wet. I'm not taking the extra couple of hundredths of a second every time trying to fumble around to get my fucking squeegee back in that hole. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. For me, it's worked relatively good. I haven't had any issues with mine. I haven't I guess I haven't had any I have no gripes with it. It's beautiful. It just works. So I hope guys that understand that it's not just a shilling thing or something where I'm trying to sell something. I mean, it pretty much sells itself. But shit happens, man. I'm talking to you, and you're on the other side of the fucking planet. If guys can't appreciate that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You're on the other side of the planet. You gotta respect that. We're video chatting, and he's on the other side of the world. It's nighttime here, and it's morning there. So wrap your heads around that. It's
with the world's best firewall.
Oh, right.
I'll show you. Hey, I'm on my mobile phone now. So I'll show you where I live.
Okay.
This is my new place.
Oh, jeez.
See?
Oh, yeah.
Cool, right?
Yeah. So you're not on the...
So I got one of the few places in Ningbo that has a little patio, so I can get a barbecue out here.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's 2 stories, so that's my little desk up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then we're in the middle of the drinking area.
Is that your
the pub zone?
Is that your reach it training wall right there?
Well, I'm gonna make it that. I'm gonna go and get the contract to clean this whole place, because then we can just bring the big, the mother of all poles out here.
Yeah.
And start cleaning.
Hell yeah, man.
It's really pretty. There's a lot of pretty glass around here. It's a very ornate part of Ningbo.
I'm seriously considering maybe selling one of my minis and putting the money towards a tactical. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm honestly thinking about it.
Yeah, if you're going to go above 3 stories, the tactical will come into its own, right?
I've been getting contacted. I don't have a lot of tall buildings around here, but around 4, 5, 6 stories, there's a bunch of that around here, and I could really probably. I'm starting to look at things differently now. I guess some instances I'll have to use a lift, but if I can get away with using a pole and it turning out a great end result, why not?
Yeah. If you're going to go to 6 stories, then go to Warrior.
Oh, okay.
Warrior is the pro. It's 100% high modulus with ultra high modulus top sections.
Okay.
Right. So it's the same. But the only challenge is that Warrior and the mother of all poles are both a different plus system than the Mini. So in a sense, I would probably, in fact, now I'd say no, stay with the tactical, get your plus B, and then what you've got will work with all the poles that you've got.
Right.
And then when you get a 6-story building, let it pay for the Warrior.
Exactly. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So on those poles, do you glue the clamps on your poles, Perry?
Hell no.
Why don't you glue the clamps on your poles, Perry?
This is a UK thing, right?
Okay.
The UK poles have all got glued on clamps, and the reason is because when you run a business, like you run a repeat business, you rely on your customers buying off you every year, right?
Correct.
You don't have to go and sell new window cleaning all year.
Correct.
So if I wanted to turn it so that when a clamp fails, that the pole fails,
mm-hmm.
then I'm going to sell you a pole with a clamp glued onto it, so you think that the pole has failed. But whenever there's 2 moving parts, there's got to be one which is sacrificial, right? One has to wear.
Right.
So I know, one company brought out aluminum clamps to rub against carbon fiber. Mm-hmm. Like when you get carbon fiber, it's like this until it's cooked. Yeah,
right.
It's just a fiber,
mm-hmm.
and so it's soft. But then it's cooked hard with resin, and the resin is what makes it hard when they cook the resin. So if you can put a lifetime guarantee on those clamps, because ain't no way they're just going to keep wearing away at the tubes, right? So the other way is that if you can get the tubes to fail, that's the best way to make money.
Right.
Secondly, it's the second best way. If you can get the whole pole to fail, right, then
mm-hmm.
you glue the clamp on, and then the relationship between the clamp and the pole has to wear. If you can get the tube to go internally, you're doing even better, because it's going to bring the dirt and the grit up from underneath on the ground and then put it in that relationship. So now you've got dirt and grit in between a clamp and a tube section,
Right.
then
And that's
then you make
added friction.
you don't sand the tube section when it comes out of the machine, right? It's got little resin lines, so it goes zzz, 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 like that. So you don't sand those off because those are resin; they'll wear away. So then the OD of the tube will get smaller, and it doesn't matter even if you put a new clamp on, it's not going to change the ability of that clamp.
So
to grip
when you when you're sanding the tube down, the tolerance is for the clamp.
That's what we do. We sand it down so you've got a perfectly smooth, hard surface, right? And then we bolt.
Jeez.
We bolt our clamps on. Like the other one is, you can say, okay, if you take off 7 sets of bolts, you can make the pole lighter, right? Because it's 304 or 316 stainless steel, so you can make the pole lighter by taking the bolts off. But when that relationship between the clamp and the tube fails, chances are guys are going to go, I need a new pole.
I don't need a new clamp or a new section. I need an entire fucking pole. Man, it's it's genius because these dudes fall for
the industry
shit.
Refuses only Unger and us. They refuse to follow this logic because the bottom line is the tubes should last forever. A carbon fiber tube is the same as a golf club, same as the Boeing Dreamliner. If it was meant to fail every 2 years, right, you wouldn't see Boeing Dreamliners made out of carbon fiber, composite.
Yes.
Right? It's not meant to fail. It's not meant to wear.
So I mean, you're not necessarily saying that you're designing your clamps to fail either. It's just
no, but something must fail. Like
something must wear. Yeah, there's something's gotta wear.
A new set of clamps is $69.
Right.
A new pole is $2,000.
Right.
Or $1,000.
I mean, it's not. Yeah. There's moving parts.
You've got to understand that when there's two parts that move against each other, one of them must be sacrificial. It's cheaper to make a plastic clamp sacrificial and change it every year or two. I mean, we've got guys who've got clamps that are 5 years old, but there are other dudes who change them every year.
I've got the same clamps on my 2014 Reach It Mini or my 2015. I can't remember. That I have not changed a single part of that pole, and for a reason. As a litmus test and a testament to that pole, I have gone out of my way to make sure that I do not change anything on it for as long as I humanly possible, just to see how long it'll last, just as a test. Because people are like, oh, well, this fails on them all the time, that fails on them all the time. It's a piece of shit. Now, listen, man. I've had the same pole, and I used the fuck out of it. And I will show... when I first got, and I still have them, I have them in the package that you initially sent them to me for free. The end defenders for the top and the middle sections. You know, there was that issue a while ago, a long time ago. And I've never put them in. I still haven't put them in. And I'm like, I'm gonna use this pole and not change a damn thing about it for as long as, because I got a brand new one. You know, I have another one just sitting there waiting. You know what I mean? It rarely gets used, but it's got the tube runner on it. It's the latest model, and I have that as a backup if something does fail. But I'm trying to see how long this pole will last without changing anything on it. I hear a lot of guys say, well, my clamps wear and they get loose. Do you not? I mean, when I unlock my Mini and I start to slide it up, I always give my thumb screw on the side a little bit of a turn before I lock it down. I always do. And maybe that's where I differ from other guys. I don't know.
What the other guys do is they wind it up too much, because the other thing we did is we made it's a 1/6 of an inch bolt, and the other guys use a 1/4 of inch bolt. And so basically, if you over tighten, instead of breaking stuff, right, what happens is that bolt will bend. It's a thin bolt.
Right.
So a guy will over tighten it when the leader's open, then push all his force on it. He'll bend that bolt, the finger tightener bolt. So you can hold it up against a razor or a straight edge, and you'll turn it around and you'll see it. So it's got a little kink in it. But then you're trying to get something to pull two things, that are parallel, pull them together with a bent bolt.
Yeah,
so all they have to do, if they think their Reach It clamp is not gripping properly, they just change the finger tightener. Right.
There's a little bit of, you just, I've just noticed from using mine that, just a little bit of a tweak on that bolt.
Just a little bit of a tweak.
You don't need to over tighten it.
No.
Because you want the sections to move freely anyways, because who wants to sit there and fight the damn thing to
Yeah.
get it to come out. Because if the clamp's too damn tight, then you're as added friction getting it
Yeah.
out. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I like to keep mine relatively loose, and then as I'm going up, I give it a twist, 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 twist. I mean, and some people are like, "Oh, it sucks," it should just be tight all the time, bro. You should just glue them on. You know what I mean? It's always something,
Yeah.
but it's all
2 years
about
later,
preference.
you watch these poles that are new in America, but they come out of the UK. 2 years later, they'll all be replacing the pole because the clamps are glued on. The relationship has to fail over time.
Right.
At some point, and depending on what plastics you make. We make ours out of nylon, but the other guys don't. But so you basically, it's just a business decision. And we can make a lot more money if everybody came back and bought another reach it every 2 years, but that we didn't set the business up that way, and we're not intending to go that way. We'd rather put our focus on, if we want you to spend more money with us, we want you to buy something more amazing, something different.
Well, I think that leads to when we first started the show here, you were kind of alluding to the fact that you're kind of taking the pressure washers approach to this, almost like guys don't go out and buy pressure washers every couple of months, or every year I got to go buy a new one. You build things to last and be reliable, and if say with the Warrior and the Tactical and the Mother of All Poles, that's not, or the Flow 2, these are things, this is innovation. This isn't, I'm throwing a new sticker and I added this little fucking doodad on there. This is like, hey man, we did this and now we've thought about it and you guys have been using this for 3 or 4 years. You know what? This is what we can do to step it up to the next level.
Yep.
Makes sense to me.
Check It is available this week. Check It is a little TDS meter made for window cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
It's in line just under the brush on the top of the pole. And basically the guy squeezes it and it'll tell him what the TDS is and it'll give him a green to go. It's got a whole lot of functions.
Then you stretch the pole out. You stretch the pole out and get to going. A lot of guys are like, how are you supposed to read that when it's all the way up in the air? Well, you're supposed to check it before you stretch it out, you momo.
Yeah. but the logic is this, we teach a lot of guys who are taking on, especially pressure washers, taking on water fed, so they can get spot-free windows after they've done a pressure washing. And they're going to wash the house, or young guys or guys in high TDS areas not going to use water fed so much at the beginning. We say, look, go with DI resin, wash the house, wash the frames, wash the windows and use the perfect technique with tap water. Then go back around quickly, 10 seconds a window, and do a spot-free rinse. The same as the drive-through car wash. Right. They don't wash your car with DI water. You pay that extra $1 and you get the DI water at the end.
That's actually not a bad idea either, especially if you're in a high TDS area. That makes a lot of sense.
And you're just starting out. It's $200 to get involved in DI.
Right.
So then the question is, when is the tap water not in my Rhino hose, Rhino high flow, Rhino tube? Right, so check it means they can actually check it when the TDS comes down as the water flushes out. Okay, now I'm green to go. I can do that rinse now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
makes
it's got
sense,
lots
man.
and lots of applications. It's very empowering, and there's no excuse for a guy. A guy's always going to bring his pole up and down on a big day's work. So every time he goes to put his pole up again, he checks. Okay, DI's working, no problem. Yeah.
Right. Makes sense to
There's
me.
There's a lot of logic. It's very dumb-proof, foolproof.
Right.
We will never be caught without spot-free water on any job anywhere.
I'm only going to assume, but I'm assuming that the flow rate on this was not going to jeopardize any flow at the head of the brush.
No. It's the same.
It's designed to
to
for all that you're thinking about doing here in the future. So that's cool too. So you're kind of thinking
12
ahead.
and 16 inch brushes. That's its market. The 20 and the 24, you're on your own because we need bigger tube and hose. But
of course.
The 12 and the 16, they can have a check it on all day long.
Awesome. Dude, that's cool.
Yep.
Because I know I want me a 16-inch brush. I need one. I need one in my life.
Yes.
So,
leverage.
Yes, leverage.
There's money in glass if you can clean it fast.
Yes, and that is the truth, man. And that's pretty much the reason why I got into water-fed pole anyways, was time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, shit, you know what I mean? We could do this so much quicker if I didn't have to go up a ladder every, every fucking 10 minutes. Or, it'd be so much, this would be so much more cost effective and I didn't have to rent a fucking lift to do this job. You know what I mean? So, water-fed pole kind of, it corrects a lot of that stuff. I mean, you've got guys like Todd Ford that are, guys hanging off of buildings, and Captain Traditional that will, he'll bust out the water fed pole if he has to.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That says something. It's not a gimmick. It's not a, it's a very feasible thing. And it works. It does work. It does work. I'm just saying. I don't want nobody to get, because I feel like guys are like, man, dude, you're shitting on this and you're shitting on. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying there's a time and a place for everything.
But
you know what I mean?
There's a logic to reach it with constructor brush,
Mm-hmm.
and the logic is called traditional. That a traditional window cleaner carries a lot of tools.
Mm-hmm.
He carries a lot of ways to agitate. Right.
Mm-hmm.
He starts with a mop. He upgrades to a porcupine mop with the nylon bristles in it. If that doesn't work, he goes to a white doodlebug non-scratch pad. If that doesn't work, he goes to steel wool. If that doesn't work, he goes to a blade, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the water-fed sellers, what they do is sell you a truck brush, right, or a broom. They put a couple of jets in it, or they pin a little rinse bar on top of it, like really poorly, and then say, okay, this is how you clean the windows. But there's no evolution of the agitation, the power to agitate. Whereas constructor brush, we have Swift, which is really soft and great for storefronts and regular monthly works and stuff like that. And then we have Original. Then we have Beast, which drags on the glass. The boar's hair bristles they get wet. They're hard when they're dry and they're soft when they're wet.
Right.
So they drag on the glass and they've got more drag, more effort, but more aggressive agitation.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got Bronze Brush, which will take a white doodle bug pad. You can go and buy them from Windows 101 or Detroit Sponge and just cut them, to size. Or you can get the bronze pads, same from Windows 101 or whatever, and cut them to size, or you can buy them pre-cut from us. And then the next thing we're bringing out is a stainless steel pad, which won't scratch the glass. And then that is kind of like the holy grail, where you'd say, okay, that's where you brought out your blade, Mm-hmm. So we're really following what we've already learned from traditional. But you can't do that with a broom brush. Right? That's where constructor brush had to exist. It had to go through its evolution from being a kit set to being to being a full evolution of a product which gets better and better and better. And some people say, you keep changing it. I get pissed off that you're changing it. I say, look, we're changing it because incrementally we can be certain of this evolution now. We have to evolve it one step at a time. If you want to get to the top of the ladder, you can't just take one step from the ground and in one step get to the top of the ladder.
Right.
You have to climb rung by rung by rung, be sure where you are, and
right.
then ultimately, and that's why we appreciate all the people that have invested in Constructor Brush and supported us, because we can only grow with the profit that we get.
Right.
So the more people who buy Constructor Brush, the better Constructor Brush will be for everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I can say that I've watched it evolve. The bronze brush. I mean, come on, man. I'm knocking. I mean, not severe screen burn, but I knock screen burn off with it. With a water fed bowl. Screen burn.
But now,
aluminum screen burn.
Larry Crook, I don't even know, it might be here. Like, this is a prototype of Larry's. This is a bronze brush, right?
Uh-huh.
And Larry made a prototype with a cavity in here. So we're going to pump chemicals through here. So you'll actually have bronze with chemicals. So if you needed to feed a chemical, as long as it doesn't react with the ABS or the nylon or the PU or whatever, right? You'll be able to put chemicals into your brush and increase your ability to agitate or increase your ability to disturb a concretion, excretion, or pollution off the glass in the same action, in the same up-down action. You don't have to flip the thing around. You don't have to pull it down. You don't have to put another tool up, right? All in the same action. That's what efficiency looks like, combining processes into one.
Right.
2 processes, 3 processes, whatever. Increasing the ability to agitate, increasing the ability to break down bird shit, poo, pollution. Like New York City, you imagine the density of petroleum-based pollutants on glass.
On glass, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at. We're just step by step, but each one is a step. We got to go from one to the next to the next.
The whole flipping the brush around to get to your bronze pad on the backside.
Bullshit, man.
Oh man, that hashtag that's bullshit, man.
Dude,
I hated doing that. I mean, I had the little doodle bug on the back. You put it on there.
We made one. I mean, the people who know Reach It, we made one called the Widget Midget.
Yeah.
Right? The widget was the reach around, and the midget was the cone or whatever, like, so you could screw anything onto the back of it. And I said,
Right.
this is bullshit. Like, and then I discontinued it because I said, if I don't discontinue it, I will not solve this problem.
Right.
Right? I had to discontinue it to come up with Bronze Brush.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
my
you did a
brain
good
is going,
thing.
oh, it's just easy. You turn it around. No, that's not easy. That's introducing another step.
Right.
Right? It's easy to put a bronze brush on, and it comes off in the same action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me. It works. It works for me. It works for me. So, is there anything? I mean, we're close to the deadline here. Is there anything else that Perry Tait would like to talk about?
Well, man, we got some game-changing news coming in the next 10 days, I do believe.
In the next 10 days?
Yeah.
So filled with so this is the anticipation that's been building on Facebook.
Yeah, you've seen a little number 1 and a little number 2.
Yes.
There's a few more little numbers coming, right?
Really?
Yeah.
I am really anxious to see, because you I mean, you didn't. I don't know what it is yet, but you kind of gave me. You were, before we started, you were kind of excited about it. Your excitement has got me excited. So usually when you're excited about something, it's usually pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this ought to be good.
There's going to be a lot of WTFs going on.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh no. So, oh man, this could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything.
This could be anything, guys. So that's cool.
So
I'm
number
looking
1
forward
was
to
come
that.
up with an amazing idea. Number 2 was do the maths.
Mm-hmm.
So we're at number 2. Number 3, we're going to draft an agreement. So I've got to do that. And then number 4 is I think, once we've got the agreement, we've got to set up the marketing plan and then the implementation. And then, I guess that's when we go live somewhere around there, So,
ooh.
It's all good. It's game on.
So we should get another hint within the next 10 days, you said?
I do believe you would want to be covering it live.
So we'll get so hint number 3. Step 3 will be soon. We'll get to, in 10 days. We'll hear about step 3. Or are you saying?
I think step 3. I was meant to do it today, but I'm talking to you.
So this is so we could have a worldwide review, preview, an extravaganza here within the next 10 days. Everybody's going to be shitting bricks. Is a good possibility. That's cool, man. And just based on everything else that you do, with the window cleaning industry, I'm excited. This is going to be cool.
It's big, man. It's big, and it's traditional. There you are.
Oh, there you are. He says, "There you are." That's cool, man. That's kick-ass, dude.
Yeah, no, we're going to do a lot in traditional now. Like, we really want to tackle traditional. We've got a bunch of guys working with us behind the scenes with fantastic and amazing ideas.
Right, not for nothing, but I'm going to say this. I've been busting your chops for 2 or 3 years about the traditional thing.
Yep.
I have. I'm always like, you got to do something. You got to do something. Because I think a lot of things that are coming out in the traditional industry, right, and this is a point that Mark Tanner made. Everyone, and I'm going to just drop this little bit on you. Everyone seems to focus on the squeegee and the combi tool. You know what I mean? Nothing's changed with a lot of things, like the bucket on the belt, the gunslinger. No one has really tackled the washer issue either. You know what I mean? No one's really looked at that either. You know what I mean? And I think there's room for improvement there as well.
I have my idea.
Yeah, so
Richie's also got his idea. Richie's got a whole lot of traditional tools he's working on.
I know. He's I don't know a lot of stuff, but he's Mr. Hint Around, you know what I mean? Kind of like asking this and asking that. And it's just, dude, some cool ass shit is getting ready to happen. And what is cool about it is that we get to kind of talk about it and build like a little bit of an anticipation, and that makes because I know when the gunslingers first started going out and the boxes started showing up and people were making comments about that fucking box, what do you need to do that for, and the belt buckle, and I don't get all that shit. Guys, we get our tools in plastic bags and fucking brown boxes. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
this new innovative product comes out. Contrary to what some people would like to say, it is innovative. It is efficient. It does
yeah,
make things better, and it does give you a better fucking appearance. It does look better. You can color
yeah,
coordinate this to your business.
yeah.
Um, Something like that deserves a special fucking wrapper, man. You know what I mean? It
And
does.
right.
That was
It
the
doesn't cost much more,
no,
TJ.
no,
It
and it
doesn't
looks cool.
cost a lot of
It's
money.
something cool for a guy in our kind of industry that's pretty much a thankless industry.
Yep,
We're handed tools in bulk, and this is what they are, and like it. You know what I mean? Or don't like it. You know what I'm saying? And you are
yep,
taking it from the approach like this is going to be an experience because we
yeah,
feel this is going to be the bar setter here. And
yes,
everyone is going to have to step up to us on
yeah,
this. And
yeah.
that deserves a
Why shouldn't
special wrapper. That deserves.
you don't get a flippin' iPhone in a plastic bag? I
No,
mean, Apple makes an effort.
you're right.
Apple makes an effort. Why
Right.
shouldn't we,
Right.
as manufacturers and as suppliers, make an effort
Right.
to give you an experience, to set your mind that
And
this is
to
going to be an amazing product, it's an amazing experience?
kind of develop a groundswell of sorts of banter socially on social
Yes.
media, on YouTube, unboxing the gunslinger. Hey, this is my gunslinger. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That is
Yeah.
good fucking marketing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Let's just brass tacks to brass tacks here. It's not only is it a nice experience for the window cleaner, but it's also good for you and Richie
Yes.
and Richie
Yes.
to sell this
And it's
product.
good. And it's good for social media. It's great
Yes,
consumption. It's
yes,
good. It's great consumption.
yes.
You know.
Fucking haters, man, dude. Just step your game up. You know what I mean?
And you know what? Just to give you an inside story, like just talking about that box. That box, I was just thinking right then. That box cost me less than $1.50.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not a big spend.
Right.
You know, but it is a great experience. You know, you
Right.
really go shit. Like this is
Well,
it.
dude,
It's a ride.
it comes in a box. You unwrap it, you open it up. In the very top, you have a bandana covering it. It says
Yeah.
Gunslinger. Super cool. I've got one over my shoulder there.
Yep.
And then when you pull that up, there's a cool ass belt buckle for being a pre-order guy. Then a little
Yep.
booklet that gives you tips and tricks from Richie, the guy that made the damn
Yep.
thing. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
then you lift that up, and then boom, there's your Gunslinger. How fucking that's cool as shit, man. And
Yeah.
that's something
Yeah.
that some guys like me, I'm kind of a pack rat. I don't get rid of things, you know what I mean? So my box has got my Richie Blue signature gunslinger in it. I just, that's
Nice.
the one that Richie made, handmade
Yeah.
at his house. I put it in there as a keepsake, you know what I mean? Like when I'm older and my kids are going through my
Yeah.
shit and throwing it away, like, Dad, what's this? And I'm like, oh, you remember that time when I did this on the internet? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I was a part
Yeah.
of window cleaning history. I don't care. That may sound pretentious as shit, but I really feel that way. I really feel like that
It is.
product is a game changer. It's gonna change the way people build things for buckets
Yeah.
on a belt. It's gonna change it. No matter what anyone wants to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plastic,
matter of time.
fabric, whatever. It's only a matter of time before someone else. Like I said, it's going to have to.
We
They're gonna
might
have to
have
step
something
up.
for July 4, by the way.
I like that. I like
It
I
may
like
be-
July
it
4th.
it may be here tomorrow
Oh,
something.
really?
for July 4.
That's kick ass. I know Tim is getting rid of a gunslinger. He's just gonna buy one and give it to some lucky subscriber on his YouTube channel. I know that's what I'm doing. I am going to also give one away on the 4th of July for my channel. So we're gonna start pumping that up. And what I was gonna do.
I'll get you a pre-order. You can have the first one made.
Oh.
The
Ooh.
July 4 gunslinger.
Sweet, dude.
I'll
Yeah,
send you a photo. I think we should have them tonight. The essence of it should come in. So maybe tomorrow, the next day, we'll have one made.
Yeah, let me see, because I want to. That's going to be kick ass.
It's
Totally
badass,
kick ass.
man.
Totally
It's
kick ass.
badass.
That's kick ass.
Yeah, and then the Gunslinger Sheriff program is about to release. We had some hiccups on it, but we're trying to get it exactly right so it doesn't fuck up. So that's basically, it's got two parts to it. One is if you're going to do social media, then we're going to give you a discount in store. on your own purchases, and then you're going to give you an affiliate link that if you help somebody else make that decision and they use your link, then you're going to get a percent, like 5%. It's nothing, just
right.
some.
Just a thank you, just like, hey, thanks.
Yeah, but because like we've got a policy, nothing for nothing, and we reserve the right to give you a credit in store or flick it to you on PayPal, whatever it is. But the idea is to say, look, it is nothing for nothing, and then why shouldn't somebody who does something good for somebody, be able to not be able to, get a little clip of the ticket, and then that guy then does it to the next guy. It's not about you made $5 off me. No, like we're making $5 off everybody. Like, you know what I mean? It's cascading. We're not. Yeah. It's not a program we're going to turn off.
Because I honestly think
we don't have distributors, so why don't we give some money back to the customers?
Right, because
why
the window
we have to
cleaner.
Give all the money to Facebook and Google. Why can't we give money back to the customers?
And I'll be honest with you, man. People like to bring that up. Well, nobody carries this, that, and the other. Well, what's weird here is, guys, nobody carries this man's product, as you guys say, but he seems to be selling quite an awful lot of that shit.
We're a 7-figure business, buddy.
Yeah,
we're like, well in 7 figures.
Well, this is the thing. The way you're doing it, you are relying on the guys that are buying the products to market the product for you. I'm not being asked to buy Reach It shit and talk about it and be like, I'm not a fucking sheriff yet. You know what I'm saying?
And we don't give free product to anybody.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah, I've tried. You won't give me any. I've tried and it doesn't work.
No, but if we release a program like Sheriff, then Sheriff will be transparent. Mm-hmm. It's completely obvious to everybody. There's no secret deals.
Right.
And then, if somebody buys off your link because you run your podcast, that's out in the open. There's no secret deals. No, I'll flick you some free stuff if you talk shit, right or wrong. You've got to back me. You can't talk. Like if one day you have a problem and you want to talk about the problem, you've got to be free to talk about the problem because that's how we solve problems.
And I tell you what, that's another. You guys, I know you said, you've had a couple of issues with the gunslinger. The turnaround and how you guys have been treating that is fucking outstanding. You're no bones about it. We'll figure it out. Here's another one. How fucking cool is that, man? I mean, come on, guys. Anyone else is going to argue about it. What did you do? What did you do this? You're like, let's
error.
Yeah, user error.
That's what I hear all the time.
My experience with your product and why I talk about it is because it works for me. No other strings attached to that. That's just it in a nutshell. I used one brand of poles. I went to WCR. I had a pole in the cart. Alex Lamborghinis told me, he's like, hey, man, you ought to check these poles out. You might like this. What kind of work do you do? La-da-da-da. This is the best pole on the market. Do-de-do. And I was like, all right, I'll buy it. Boom, my Reach It Mini shows up in the mail. Completely fucking changed my business. Honestly, it did. It did. It changed. It made me a more efficient window cleaner because I was using junk before I got my Mini. It made it literally shaved 5 days off the job I bought it for. 5 days. It literally shaved 5 days. I was doing this job. It took me 2 weeks. It's a very large job, 3-story job, huge, tons of glass. And I did it in half the time, the very first time with my Mini. Because the fatigue. Yeah. The fatigue, it was gone. I wasn't wore out, like I was before. A light pull, efficient strokes, and a good rinse, and it works good. You know what I mean? Sorry, guys. Some people don't like that. I'm not saying that this pole's junk or that pole's junk. I'm just telling you the one that I bought, the money that I spent, it was well spent. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Some people don't like that.
But look, some people are going to drive a Chevy. Some people are going to drive a Ford.
Some people are assholes. Some people aren't. You know what I mean?
We don't have to get everybody,
Yeah, you can't, and you can't. You can't please everyone either. You know what I mean? But I really think, no matter if those people, no matter if you get those people or not, the changes, and this is evident because one of your larger competitors in the water-fed pole and brush market for sure has fucking totally bit an idea. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're going to integrate into our brush, and everyone's like, oh, well, this has been around forever. Well, if it's been around forever, why in the fuck ain't it been on all the brushes if it's been around forever? This came out with this, and then, hey, lo and behold, here's another one just like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your innovations are
not just like it.
It's reaching across the aisle. Yeah, it's reaching. It's not like it.
Everybody who's got one of each will tell you it's nothing.
It's not.
Like it.
It's not. It's not. I know that. I know that from backroom dealings. I know that it's not the same. No, it's not.
There's a lot of insurance claims on that little baby. It's a pair of Ray-Bans from the center aisle of a shopping center, man.
Right.
That's what it is.
Right.
It ain't Ray-Bans.
Well, my point is that idea is reached across the aisle. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't shit on the idea. No. All they can do is try to knock it and then try to copy it. That's all they can do.
For 3 years.
That's all they can do is knock it, and then they're going to adapt it because that's what everybody's going to switch to because it's smart. The pencil jets on a fucking water-fed pole it's archaic technology. It's no good. Yeah, it's no good. You need that nice constant rinse. I couldn't imagine going back to a pencil jet.
Water squeaky.
Yeah, I couldn't go back to a fan mist on the glass and then 2 pencil jets shooting. It just doesn't. It don't work. It's not worth the shit. That rinse on that hydroblade is the shit. It is a water squeegee, straight up.
Yep.
Everyone's gonna adapt.
Tea squeegee uses water squeegee.
Awesome. Perry, it is, as always, it was a pleasure talking to you. I'm a little pissed off that you baited me with your carrot of, like, in 10 days, something cool is going to happen. So now I'm going to be, like, counting days, because I'm like genuinely excited. Because the way you approached me with it, I was like, this motherfucker's up to something. He got that shit-eating grin. He's like, here very soon, something cool's going to happen. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I can't tell you, but it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. Yeah. Well, Perry, I appreciate your time, man. I appreciate your product, and I also want to say that I appreciate your passion for our industry, and that's what I call it, is passion. I mean, of course you're in it to make money. Who's not? I'm into cleaning windows to make money.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But you got a focus, and it's a laser focus on your three S's. What are those 3 S's?
Do
Safety.
I know them?
What is it?
No, faster, better, safer.
Faster, better, safer. Yeah.
Yeah. Faster, better, safer.
Yeah. Whatever it is. And that focus is evident in your products, and we all appreciate it, and it was awesome having you on the show. And if you guys want, go to gunslinger.futureofcleaning.com and order you a gunslinger, or just go to Future of Cleaning and just adapt to the baddest ass water-fed pole with the baddest ass brush and the baddest ass accessories from Reach It. That's all you got to do. Just check it out.
Yeah. You support us.
Yeah, support us, and they'll support you. They'll support you.
Yeah, that's it. We're throwing all the money back in.
And that's the way. That's why these innovations keep coming. But I appreciate it. You guys go to www.outlawwindowcleaner.com. Get you some Black Diamond squeegee rubbers, some Outlaw Window Cleaner t-shirts, some Legend channels, a coffee mug, a sticker. Stop by, say hi on the Facebook page. Check Perry out in Advanced Window Cleaning Network. And, we'll see you guys again soon.
Sweet.
Peace, Perry. Thanks, buddy.
Peace, buddy. That's great.
Outlaw Window Cleaner Radio, reminding you to get your Black Diamond squeegee rubbers at www.outlawwindowcleaner.com. Oh yeah, and Luke's still a bitch.